Hey, what's up you guys? Yes, I've always wanted to do that.
Shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision. Always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living. Didn't know how, but I always had a feeling. I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had high hopes.
Today we are going to be talking about the mind of Jake Paul. Obviously, the whole YouTube community has heard about Shane Dawson in the mind of Jake Paul. This is going crazy. It is changing the internet. It is changing how we do YouTube. It is changing how we view YouTubers. And I honestly decided to take a dive into it. If you follow my social medias, you might have noticed that I put out a tweet. This happened. And then this happened. And we hit 10,000 likes on one of my tweets. This is absolutely insane. And of course it's all thanks to Shane Dawson. Why wouldn't it be? I've always wanted to do a video on Shane Dawson. I love this series. This happened. I got noticed by Shane and I thought, here's the perfect time to sit down and make a video about Shane and one of his series. This is just part one of these videos. This is for parts 1 through 4. I'm gonna make a video on parts 5 through 8 later. I have watched parts 1 through 4 back multiple times, taken notes. I have watched any supplementary videos that I needed to, including Alyssa Violet, Martinez twins, Logan's video on the situation, Jake's video on the situation. I've watched Gabby Hanna's video that she recently came out with. And I've also just watched some videos here and there about Team 10 and how people are feeling about Shane's videos. So I have come well prepared and I have come with some things that you guys might find extremely interesting. Before we start this video, would you guys go down there and hit that red subscribe button? I would really love you a lot and it would really make me happy if you joined the family. Make sure you comment something down below. Make sure you drop a like in the video. I've heard it brings good luck. Let's get into episode 1. Okay guys, so getting into episode 1, the first thing that Shane talks about is how people do not want him to do this series. Now, for me personally, when I heard that it was going to be the mind of Jake Paul, I got very excited. I was ready for the tea. I wanted it to be spilled. I wanted to know the truth about this guy. But a lot of people were very angry, and this was because they were saying, Shane, you're giving someone like Jake Paul a platform. Well, here's what I think about it personally. First of all, giving Jake a platform isn't necessarily going to be a bad thing. One of two things are going to happen. Either we are going to find out that Jake is actually a good person, which I don't see why that's a bad thing, or we're going to find out that he's a liar and the truth is going to come out, which also isn't a bad thing. So it's really going to be a win-win, and I know that a lot of people think it's going to be a lose-lose, and I don't know, I just think that either way we're going to get the truth, and that's better than just like knowing nothing. Now here's the reason why people don't want the truth. People on the internet are scared of the truth. They don't like the truth. You know why? Because people love to hate people. People love hating people. People love thinking people are cringy. It was a trend with Jacob Sartorius. It's trendy to hate people. It's trendy to hate the Pauls. Does that mean that you can't hate the Pauls? No, you can hate them. I don't care. It's your opinion. But people love to hate someone, therefore they don't want the truth. They don't want to know if he's actually a good guy, because then what do they have to hate him for? And if they don't have him to hate for, then who else are they going to hate if it's not the Pauls? And I think that that was one of the big reasons why people don't want the truth, because they are used to hearing the name Jake Paul and be like, oh my god, I hate Jake Paul, and then the other person that's with them is like, oh my gosh, I hate Jake Paul too, and then they hate them together. If they don't have to hate the Pauls, who else are they gonna hate right now? Probably, I don't know, someone. It's always gonna be trendy to hate someone, and when that person has the ability to come out as an actual good person, not saying that Jake Paul is a good person, because I don't know yet, nobody knows. Will we ever know? I'm not sure. So are just scared. What if it comes out that this is all fake and that he's actually a good person and that everyone's been lying? And then who am I gonna hate? I also believe that if anyone's gonna do a series about this, it has to be Shane Dawson. Like, there's no one else that could pull this off in a like respectful, knowledgeable way, because no one in the YouTube community has the kind of respect that Shane Dawson has. Shane Dawson has watched YouTube evolve from the beginning of time. He has been here through it all. He has seen major things change in the YouTube community, and I just don't think that there is anyone respected or trusted enough to do this other than Shane Dawson. So if anyone's gonna do it, I mean, it has to be him. There's absolutely nobody else that would have the respect or the, you know, drive to actually help people like Jake Paul. No one else is gonna do it. It's gotta be Shane. When Shane Dawson first gave this idea about Jake Paul tweeted, "I'm down." No controversy, nothing crazy, just tweeted, "I'm down." Now that to me kind of seems like a call for help, either in a call for help in the way everyone hates me, or a call for the help in I need help. I am losing people, more people hate me every single day, and Shane Dawson wants to do a documentary about me. I mean, that's a huge deal for anybody. I don't care how many millions of subscribers you have. If Shane Dawson wants to make a docuseries about you, like, that's a big deal. I mean, at least in my eyes, I don't know. Now is when we get into the actual series and we talk about the sociopath issue. This is kind of like, I feel like Shane pulling people in, like, this is the central message. Is Jake Paul a sociopath? Now, when we get into the series, we see that that's not really the whole aim of the series, is to figure it out. We move very off track from the whole sociopath issue. But right now in episode 1, this is the question. This is the hook. This is what is pulling your fans in, because this is what's pulling your views. This is what's pulling your likes, because everyone now has this question. Is Jake Paul a sociopath? What is a sociopath? During this time, he is playing clips of videos from Jake Paul's vlogs and just around the Team 10 house. Now, I have never viewed a Jake or Logan Paul video until diving into research for this. So I can say, as someone who was completely on the outside of this situation, I was shocked by the things that I saw in these video clips. When I first see it, I hear Shane Dawson talking about him being a sociopath. I'm seeing these video clips. I'm seeing clips of Alyssa Violet talking about him, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a horrible person. We see clips of old Jake and new Jake also in this episode, and you see old Jake being very calm and cool and collected, and then you see the switch to someone who is absolutely insane, almost a mirror image of his brother. So all of that just sticks out to me right there, that he is here and his brother is here, and his brother is acting like this and Jake is being more calm. Well, what's he going to do? He's going to look at his brother and say, well, if my brother is getting more views, then I need to do what he's doing in order to get the views that he has. That's going to be any brother relationship. Let's say your brother is popular at school, but he's mean to the other kids, and he's the cool football player, and he shows people into lockers, and the other kids are scared of him, they think that's cool. So your brother's super popular. Now you are over here, you're average at football, you're the younger brother, you're in your brother's light, he's the star of the school, and you are very nice and kind to everyone, but you're unhappy because you want to be as cool as your brother. What are you gonna do? You're gonna start acting like your brother, because you don't want to be the unsuccessful brother, the unpopular brother, living in your brother's shadow. That's how it's going to be for every single situation in family life, but I mean even more so on YouTube, and that's at an extremely larger scale than he's going on right now. So then that brings up the question for me, is he just on this constant drive to outdo his brother? And is that why he made this insane switch? Maybe not because he's a sociopath, but because he is just on this constant drive to be overcoming his brother and everything they do. And the episode is I want there to be a happy ending. I want there to be happiness, but I don't think it's possible. I think it's possible. I think that even if it doesn't come out the way Shane wanted it to come to, I think a happy ending is possible. That doesn't mean that Jake's going to make a 360 in 2 days. But maybe it's just because it's bringing light to Team 10. Maybe it's because it's bringing light to YouTube in general. I think that whatever happens, that it's going to be a happy ending in one way or another. So here we are, episode 2, the dark side of Jake Paul. We find ourselves with Katie, whose channel will be right here, and she is a therapist, psychologist. She got all kinds of information. She knows what she is talking about. Personally, I love her. I think she's great. I think that her conversation with Shane was very genuine. I know people are making controversy because it was a professional or because she said things, but she had a genuine conversation with Shane, and I enjoyed watching it. I learned a lot. I thought it was very interesting. This is where people start to get set off because of the essence, the vibes of the episode. You see the intense, you got Andrew over here doing the intense music, the stock footage of like humans eating other humans and like crazy stuff. Very much conspiracy theory-esque video for Shane Dawson. Something, you know, it was very Shane Dawson-esque, which is why I personally wasn't really thinking about it, because it was like, oh yeah, this is a Shane Dawson video. But I can see when I step back and look at it, when people are coming because they just want to see this and they've heard about it, that can maybe throw them off, especially when you're talking about mental illness and mental health issues. I'm not agreeing that we should make mental health issues scary, because I don't think that should be the case at all. But I can see why they might have added this added intensity and suspense, and that is because this is the episode that is going to pull you into all the other episodes, because we make it seem scary, we make it seem intense. You're waiting, you were hearing all these things about what a sociopath is and all that kind of stuff. We're learning that 1 in 25 people are sociopaths. You're sitting back looking at your family and your friends, and you're like, who in my life is a sociopath? You walk into a coffee shop and you're like, someone here is probably a sociopath, and then you're looking at yourself like, am I a sociopath? Like, do I fit some of these descriptions? And this is the intensity that is going to reel in those people. That is the intensity that is going to get you subscribers, and that is the intensity that is going to make people keep watching until Jake comes in, and until Shane sits down with Jake and they have a conversation about what the heck is going on. I don't want to agree that it should be scary, but I can see the marketing. Like, it just comes down to that. It comes down to making people want to watch, making people feel uncomfortable, because that's what's gonna make people keep watching into the future, and that's just the truth of YouTube, and that's the truth of business. They say things in this episode, like as he's driving to her house and they're on the phone and they're looking at Instagram, and they pull up this picture and it says something, and he's like, that's like the face of 2 sociopaths. And you can't look at a picture and like, maybe in the moment I was really real into it, so I was like, oh yeah, like definitely. But like, when I was rewatching and taking notes, I was like, well, you can't tell if someone's a sociopath based on a picture like of them and their brother. And I think that's just like, that goes back to that thing. It's like, this is more exaggerated to keep you interested and to keep you watching, basically. They talk about YouTubers specifically, and a little bit celebrities, but I'm gonna go back to YouTubers. And this is what I also saw in Gabby Hanna's video, about all YouTubers have to have sociopathic tendencies. as Logan would call it. I don't know what else to call it. All YouTubers have to be a little bit selfish, and that's the job. That's what you do. Why, like, you have to sit back as a YouTuber, and the reason you're putting out videos is because you think that your life is good enough that other people should watch and enjoy. Other people should watch you and enjoy. This is not going to a casting agency and them saying, you're really talented, we'll put you in this movie, and then you get famous because you're in the movie, and then people start caring about your life because you're an actress and you're doing all these cool things. That's simply not the point with YouTube. YouTube is you making a decision that your life and your reality is good enough and better than everyone, and like more interesting than everyone else's reality, and that's why they should watch you. But does that mean that I'm a sociopath? Does that mean that Shane Dawson is a sociopath? Does that mean, I mean, any of us that make videos about our opinions, about our life, about what we're doing on a daily basis, we have to be a little bit selfish. You also have to think about what in my life is good enough for other people to watch. What about me? It's about you. And then you sit there and you edit and you're listening to yourself, and then you become more into yourself because you're like, oh, like, this is funny, this is what I should put in there. Look at me watching myself over and over and over again, and then I decide that myself in this video is good enough to put onto YouTube to eventually gain viewers and gain likes and gain subscribers and eventually build a fan base. But, you know, what I said earlier, we have this added intensity to pull us in and make us ask these questions on purpose. I think that was the point of the editing. Was to make us question, because when you question, you want answers, and where are you going to get those answers? In the next videos. And it's smart. It's smart. Shane Dawson is very smart. Andrew is very smart, and it's exactly what they're doing. Shane Dawson says YouTube is a playground for sociopaths, and I completely can see where he's coming from on this, because not only can you fake emotion, be likable, and just come across as a normal person but manipulate people to like you better than YouTube, where people are watching your life and you're using them to have money, to have power, to have people talking about you, and you don't care if people are, you don't really care. You may act like you care, but you don't really care if people are saying good things or bad things about you, because bad publicity is still publicity. And you're gaining these fans that subscribe to you and start buying your merch and giving you money and coming to your meet and greets are just blind following you. And that is a perfect example with the Paul brothers, because there are 8-year-olds that are watching Greg Paul kiss women for fun, and these kids are just blindly following. And that is why that's why it's the playground. You have people just blindly following you, which is all like, that's all you want. Then we move into episode 3, the family of Jake Paul. Here's what I'm thinking, is I don't know how likely it is that both of the Paul brothers would be sociopaths, but here is something that I do have, because if I had to go off of the Paul brothers, I think I see sociopathic tendencies more even in Logan than I see in Jake, and they actually have very similar tendencies. This is how it made sense in my head, because I don't think that Jake Paul is a sociopath. I think that Logan Paul has sociopathic tendencies, and he's admitted that, and I think he has them even more so than Jake would, based on what I've seen. So here's, if this can make sense to you, here's what I've come up with. Let's paint a picture here. We've got Logan Paul. He is up here. Then we've got Jake Paul just below, right? So, Jake, his brother, we've got controversial, violent, insane, takes videos of dead people up here. We've got pranks, which we learn later are not real. We've got pranks, we've got, you know, doing things like breaking the law, filming police officers, but not at the level that Logan is doing it on. Jake wants to be at this level that his brother is on. More subscribers, more followers, more money. I look at it as like this. Jake is in Logan's shadow. It's like this downward escalator and Jake is trying to go up it. And no matter what he does, he is not reaching the level of Jake because he's running up and the escalator is going down. That's the easiest way that I can express it to you guys here. Well, not only does Jake want to get to Logan's level, because he's basically probably right around here on the spectrum. Well, not only does he want to be at Logan's level, he wants to be above Logan, right? He wants to be above him. That means that Jake has to do something crazy. He has to have something that Logan does not have, which is hard when you're brothers and you are in the same business of YouTube. So Jake's thinking, well, what is going to get me the talk, the fame, the money, the followers, the attention that Logan doesn't have? What about a docuseries by none other than Shane Dawson? Because that is something that his brother doesn't have. And even if Jake comes out as a liar, even if he comes out as a bad person, he is going to have the attention and the talk and the views and the constant traffic that his brother is not right at. And that is the thesis. He obviously strives for approval from his dad. Blog Dad Greg Paul. I don't like to bash people that I don't know. However, I believe that Greg Paul is a disgusting man. And the thing is that he talks about how he strives for approval from his dad all of his life. With wrestling and football and all kinds of things, and his dad is a completely insane man and he's trying to gain his approval, and that right there is not healthy because he's not going to gain his approval unless he's doing absolutely insane things. He keeps saying, I'm never going to be as savage as my dad, I'm never going to be as cool as my dad. Well, I would hope not, because your dad is insane. It's like he raised his sons to become something so he could just take what they have and live vicariously through that. They talk about their dad being their manager. Your dad should never be your manager, first of all. Second of all, he says that his dad was in the military and then he was a real estate agent. So your dad was in the military and then he was a real estate agent, and now all of a sudden he's qualified to be your manager? It just doesn't make sense to me. I just feel like he's one of those dads that lives vicariously through their kids. The video of him kissing the girls, like, it was just absolutely disgusting, and he just disgusts me in every way. Poor Jake comes into this family, okay? His dad is doing all this crazy stuff. His brother is growing up and doing the same stuff. Jake had to adapt to survive. He might have been very calm and very not like that, and that's how he seems to be truly on the inside. But I think on the outside, you know, he had to survive with Logan and Greg. So how does he do that? Well, he has to become like them in order to survive that kind of stuff. That's with anybody. If you're living in an environment where you are constantly being beaten down, constantly being harmed, constantly being told that you are not, and that you need to be better, I mean, you just have to adapt to that, because if you don't, you're gonna be miserable. He talks about wanting to break the mold. Now, this is one time, as much as I don't like agreeing with the Paul brothers, this is one time where I will agree with them and their mindset going into this world. Because, I don't know, when he was talking about their story, it just hit close to home to me. Because if you don't know, we are from the same state. I have family that lives really close to their hometown, like within an hour. Seeing like the videos from their home and their house, it is the typical Ohio neighborhood. When you grow up in Ohio, you grow up, you go to college, and you get a job, and then you have kids, and then your kids grow up in Ohio, and then your kids go to college, and then your kids get a job, and it just keeps going. Which is a lifestyle that even my family can tell you that I do not want to live for the rest of my life. I don't want to stay here in Ohio. And people in Ohio, we don't have opportunities really to get out there. And when you want to do something like I want to do, or like they wanted to do, that wasn't traditional, people are going to just... There have been times where people have told me, yo, people were in class making fun of your videos. And I know that that happened to them. So when they were talking about, like, people were in class watching your videos in class and making fun of them right in front of the class. And as much as I don't care, I see where that, when they were talking about that, that really hit me. And I was like, I know that. I know that feeling. It honestly sucks too. Like, Ohio kind of sucks a little bit. So that's kind of my thoughts on episode 3. Let's get into the last episode. Episode 4. The enemies of Jake Paul. I have watched this multiple times because this is where everything that you thought you knew about YouTube gets thrown out the window, and you're just sitting there like, I don't know what is real anymore. And so let's start with Nick Crompton. Never really knew who this dude was. He was the dude in the music video that I made fun of. That was basically it. And so I was kind of interested to, you know, learn a little bit more about him. So he obviously left Team 10. Shane Dawson and Andrew go to this secret mansion. Now, as soon as they get there and meet that lady, I get weird vibes because, I don't know, that lady is probably extremely nice, but like her in the mansion and not really being able to say much about it, it just made me feel like I was in a dystopian movie and like she was about to like reveal some large secret about the world and we were all going to like crumble. I don't know, she just gave me those vibes. Like, she definitely, like, it was like she like worked in the capital of the Hunger Games. I don't know. She's probably a very nice lady. I don't know. But they go into this mansion. And it's like, from what I could tell, because they don't really expand much on it, but she says that there are multiple houses where influencers live. I don't know what influencers are living there, but it seems like it's just like a neighborhood of famous YouTubers to me. I don't know, like, what is this place and how do I live there? Shane asked him the question, are the pranks real? And we find out that they are in fact not. It's probably not too far off to believe that they are exaggerated or maybe getting a hint about it before, that kind of thing, or maybe they aren't happening as frequently as it looks on camera. But finding out that everything was staged, they were all acting, that was a little bit shocking to hear. But it makes sense, I mean, after you hear it. But the thing that gets you is that if all of these pranks were planned, then that discounts a lot of things that the people that have left Team 10 have said. Now, we don't believe what the Martinez twins said because they were obviously lying about at least some of it. Like, there might have been emotional things that happened. I don't know. I was not in the Team 10 house. But the things that they brought up in the videos, like the room and talking about, oh, this was your fan art and they destroyed it. That's not true. So you see the Martinez twins and you're like, okay, well, they're not telling the truth. But then also Jake and Team 10 aren't telling the truth about the prank, so what else are they lying about? So guys, I think that is about it for part 1 of this 2-part breakdown, analysis, opinions, theories on Shane Dawson's The Mind of Jake Paul. Just want to give another thank you to Shane for noticing my tweet after part 4. That was literally the most amazing thing ever. If you haven't checked out that tweet yet, definitely go do that. That'd be super cool. So yeah, thank you to Shane again for that. Shane is always helping me in one way or another. So yeah, and make sure that if you want to see more videos like this, I've never done a video like this, make sure you leave this a like, subscribe, and comment down below if you liked it. Comment any questions you have for me, if anything like that, I don't know. And definitely go share this link, get Shane to see it. I love you all so much. Thank you for letting me do what I love and voice my opinions on here. I am so thankful to everyone who has been kind to me throughout this whole YouTube process that I've been going through. And I will be back to see you in the next one.
Then only for a minute I want to change my mind, 'cause this just don't feel right to me. I wanna raise your spirit.